Hello, and welcome to season three of our Zen Clouds presents Cloud Talks. We have the artist you love, the art you love, and the stories you want to hear. Today's guest is Xavier Whitley. And Xavier, thank you for joining the episode today. Appreciate
You're
it.
much welcome. You're much welcome, man. Glad to be on, man. First time.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'll just kind of let you introduce yourself here a little bit and then, yeah, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, everyone, my name is Xavier Whitley. I am a singer, songwriter, and CEO of One Throne Productions LLC. And I love the art of music. That's what I do for a living. And that's who I am. I'm from Denver, Colorado originally. And born out of Omaha, Nebraska, and lived in Chicago, and traveled along the great 50 states. So definitely had a nice time around the world, and just learning day by day everything.
Absolutely. No, thank you for that. And yeah, we were talking a little bit about that. You've traveled quite a bit. Uh
Yeah.
yeah, so um I know you probably got a lot of experience and lessons we could all, tune into here, but um before we get that deep, tell us a little bit more about, how you got started and being a musician, I guess, and starting up this company.
So I started fairly young. My grandma, well, as we called her, showed me because she was incredible. She was actually born deaf, and she had, used that to her advantage, and was able to read lips and read very well. So she had this little old grand piano back when I was younger, and she had it in the middle of the house and would play it. And it always make me kind of sad to see that she wouldn't actually be able to hear what she was playing, but
Right.
she would play it so perfectly because she knew how to read sheet music. And so playing was nothing to her. So I would go behind her, whenever she'd go in the room or whatnot, and I'd start playing on the piano, and eventually, showing myself, what notes are, and the more I got older, I kind of understood, just the sheet music part from what she had showed me. And so that was my first spark of, touching a musical instrument was her. And so as I got older, I started learning how music works, and just teaching myself over time. And then my mom, when I was about like 10, 11 years old, she had bought me this Walmart guitar. It was like $60, and just watching the greats play, and watching Prince, and also one of my close homies who passed away last year, rest in peace, Lee Edward Nelson. If it wasn't for him, honestly, it'd be kind of difficult to say where I'd be at with even just the guitar playing alone. But just from seeing everybody else do it and having this guitar just sitting there in the corner, I felt bad. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get up and really learn this thing. And over time, I just busted my fingers open, and was trying to figure out how do I even write a song. And I just really just sat there and studied over time, and kept studying. And eventually it led to me feeling comfortable enough to do performances, and a lot of things during my school time when I was around that time. So it was just a big old transition from just looking at other people do things, and just seeing how great anything can be if you put your mind to it. And that's what I did. I had just sat and watched people around me, and just watched the struggles, and watched how people are able to do such a great thing with instrument and with your voice. And so it was just a thing that I wanted to learn, so I taught myself over time, just picking up things, and looking at other people do their thing. And I was like, I want to do this, so I did it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is incredible, honestly. Like, what your grandma was able to do with a piano? Like, would you say
Yeah.
like during that time she was kind of like teaching you a little bit too as you guys were like kind of going through, or was it just kind of you?
She would show me, but I was at the time kind of a little bit young, so I didn't really understand like exactly what she was talking about. But I would hear the notes, not I would see her play, and just sit down and see her. So it wasn't like she sat down next side by side and just taught me, but just just purely looking at her playing it, and I just walk up and start banging on notes, and then, like I figured out, oh, okay, this sounds good. And then, over time, I'm like, okay, what is this actually? What is this sound? And,
Yeah.
you know, next thing you know, it's okay, it's C. Okay, now I learned that. And then I started matching my voice to the note, and I taught myself how to sing during doing that. So, it was literally just picking up what she had done,
That's
was
amazing.
gravitated toward me playing the piano and picking up the guitar and picking up singing and picking up the bass and everything I do play because I'm a multi instrumentalist too. So I play many instruments, besides rapping and singing. I could do that too.
Wow.
Um, you know, just that was the core of it. Just seeing her do it and the fact that she never heard, what she was playing just made me kind of go hard about me being serious about me being anything close to a musical instrument or anything close. If you're going to do something, be serious.
Yeah.
So
I think
that
that's
was that was
important.
it for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it's important to note too that having that older generation that is there, that those people that are surrounding you that really help inspire you, that help create that future that you can see, you know. And
Yeah,
I think me and you were actually talking about it a little bit in how important it can be to create that environment. And I really can see how those roots were laid down through your family and your friend, rest in peace. I'm sorry to hear about your loss there.
thank you, man. That was and still to this day like really difficult for me. Because he was one of my inspirations. Aside from him, like, because I was going through a lot of mental stuff around that time, actually, and I was in the middle, like it was like a group home kind of thing, and I didn't know they had anything like programs as far as music, but I had to live there because certain things that were going on with me and my mental health and my anger, and so I was kind of by myself in there with everybody else dealing with whatever they dealing with, and I had my guitar, my little $60 guitar with me, and I would see, when I'd go out to the little, as they call it, a milieu, like the middle of the little building or whatever.
Right.
I would see Lee over there playing his guitar, and I'm like, okay, this dude's kind of cold. And every time I would see him, like it would, and I didn't know how to play it very well at that time. I'm just kind of just plucking notes, what I mean, trying to make a little sound. And
Finland, yeah.
I'm like, okay, how do you really sit down and play this thing? And I was seeing him and another staff member there. His name was Will. He was playing with him. They would play, a little bit back and forth during the time. And the fact that Lee was black too, and for him to play the guitar like that, it's just you don't really see that a lot, to be honest. You don't really see that. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, I can connect with him. Like we could talk about this. And he sat there and showed me so much stuff on the guitar, harmonics, and finger placement, and a lot of stuff. And we just had a grand old time. And once I got out of there, we started actually recording a lot of music together. And we did a song for Breast Cancer Awareness Week. It was
All right. Looks like
yeah. What happened?
we had a little bit of a disconnection there, but You and Lee
You
made
got
a song
technology.
for breast cancer awareness.
Yeah, yeah, it's still out there. It's called Recovery. Lee Nelson and the OG Rock Band. And I had a couple of people, some friends that were with me, and we all recorded that with Lee. And, he took us to the studio, bought us lunch and all types of stuff. And over the years, he did his thing, I did mine. Everybody got older, and we just didn't get around to the music like I wanted to. And just last year, I figured out that he passed from
Yeah.
what was it? It was some type of something with his brain, and he passed instantly. And still for that, I was hurt. I'm still hurt about that because he was one of my biggest inspirations behind the guitar.
Yeah.
Um, just from the simple fact that like he was super cool, really caring, and you know what I mean, and you know played extremely well, and like it just kind of sucks. So
Yeah. Yes.
kind of lost inspiration on that one. But I live for him, man. We gonna do it for him. So
Yeah.
I'm like, make sure ain't nothing lost, and I'm always gonna grow from that. So that was tough, but that's where I got it from. I got it from Lee, and I got it from my grandma, and um, I got it from, just wanting to learn. And then, it's crazy because my sister, she actually raps and sings herself. And we did a little song, a little track here a couple of days ago. We still working on it, but it's actually our first together. So, whenever I'll probably send you a preview of that so you can go ahead and listen before everybody else do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I was
That's cool.
surprised because my little brother, he produces and does a lot of beats and stuff, and to see my sister doing, her singing or whatever, I'm like, oh wow, it's all three of us, because it's just us three. So, um,
That's sick.
like I hope they take everything seriously, and get it together and get a little name out for themselves, and
Mm,
make it happen because it's possible. It's definitely possible, man, and it's
yeah.
just crazy to see, through all the crap and all of the hardship, that, you can still do something. I'm still going through stuff right now.
Yeah.
Actually, I just went to my therapist today, to be honest, and I just picked up some new medication. So I'm gonna I'm getting started on a track to get myself better because nobody's perfect, and I'm
Yeah.
start off with something small and see how that grows, and I want to become better for not only myself but for the one I have next to me, my girlfriend. Yeah,
Mm,
I want to keep it good for her and keep it good, for myself and my family and my career and everything I want to do. So
yeah.
yeah, it's just one of them things, man. With all the inspiration and all the things that that can be positive around you, there you have it. You can really make something out of that. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Man, no, and and I'm happy to hear, you're taking the steps you need to do on your journey, man. It's not easy. And you have a community that will back you. We're willing to be here, and we're happy to hear you're diving into art, because I think a lot of times people don't realize that, you know, in these hard times, we all go through it, but
Yeah.
you need a way to release that tension. You need a way to release your voice. And as hard as it might seem, to pick up a paintbrush or start recording some lyrics, it's actually maybe even beneficial for other people that are listening to you. And as large of a community as that might be, or as little, it's affecting people. And and I think it's cool that I mean, you and your fam are like getting together, which is sick. Like, oh
Yeah,
man.
and like I think it's exciting because right now my sister's going through a little situation herself, but the fact that in our entire time of knowing each other, we never made a song, and this is actually our first song together. I really take that in a good light heart. I think that's awesome. So just to hear brother and sister on one track, that you don't really hear that a lot. So I'm like. I'm gonna really clean this up and do something special with that one, man. And yeah, I want you to hear that first,
Oh man, I
because
appreciate that.
yeah,
That's
she definitely got a voice on her. I didn't even know. So, I'm like, okay, she's trying to outdo me. Yeah, we're
yeah.
gonna run time on a track. It's nothing like it's no competition, but like,
But you know, siblings are siblings, you know.
you gotta have that little, I'm outdo you.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and plus she's a female, so her vocal range be kind of a little bit higher, and I'm like,
Mm.
I don't know if I can get that high, but I can get pretty high now.
I I never heard you get down like that, but we'll have to hear.
Yeah, like, she's trying to play around a little bit.
That's awesome. And that's some lessons learned right there, man. Like how that art I just hear it, man. It's just you can tell like that energy, that good energy that's coming from your whole music journey so far. And I just love to hear how far it's taking you in your life. This is
Thank you, man. And it's a crazy ride for me, man. I'm telling you, I was just talking to my therapist about this, man. I'm like, my whole life has been pretty crazy, and like, I can say, like, I am gonna get somewhere with this, and I'm not gonna play around with something that people take very seriously. People die for this type of stuff, man, and people want to be in those type of shoes, and want to be on top of the world, and like, that's everyone's goal. Even with your podcast, you want this thing to jump. You want to see the numbers. You want that love, and
yeah,
it's just like, um, it's just always about staying grounded and working hard, and getting told no, and saying seeing yourself suck. What I mean, saying hearing other people say you suck, or whatever the case is, people mad, or whatever the case is, like,
right.
you know I'm
Getting
like,
those
one thing I
no's.
got to do personally is stop tripping all the time, and you know what I mean, and get myself together. This is why, I
Mhm.
get in my situations and the trouble I've got in, because I haven't gotten myself together. But
Mhm.
I'm like, the trouble isn't gonna make me who I am. I know the street life. I know the bad stuff. I know the great stuff. I have family members right now that are doing really great. Shout out my Uncle Vargas. He's a successful comedian.
That's awesome.
Very successful. He's actually from Denver, but he's made
Oh,
it.
oh,
Like, he's out of here. I mean,
that's
he's got his own cruise ship. He's telling jokes, making thousands a week.
damn.
Um, so I'm like, man, I've seen it in front of me
Yeah.
where it's possible. So it's like, just looking at other people and talking to other people. Like, when my bro Waka Flocky came down here not too long ago for 420.
Mhm.
Me and him chopped it up about a one of our friends that we lost in Chicago a week prior, and
Oh
it
man.
was just crazy, talking about that. And I mentioned to him, I was like, I used to watch your ass on the TV. I used to sit there and listen to you on the radio when I was like 4 years old. And, I was like, that's crazy, just from that. And, me and bro had actually never spoken before that point, but we know, like, I know my guy Boy Deal, and, I know some
Yeah.
people down in Chicago too. So, that connection was just crazy. And so, it's just seeing that, when I brought Montana 300 out here, and, his crew and
Mhm.
everybody else, everybody showing love. And I used to see his videos and him rapping the Chirac stuff, on the YouTube, and for him to, come out of straight from Chicago to come down to mess with me, man, and we go do a show, um, at
Yeah.
Cervantes, I'm like, that's crazy.
That
It
is
just, it
wild,
just,
right?
so it's telling me I'm gonna get somewhere, man. And
Yeah.
I'm like, man, this ain't for nothing. So I know that, I got to stop my BS and get up out of here, man. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's just like, that's why I want to work on my mental health too. And that's, because I deal with a lot of stuff from the past, and a lot of, physical and, mental abuse. And,
Mhm.
just me feeling the way I'm feeling has led me to, bad paths, and hanging around the wrong crowd, and me going to jail, and, me doing, stupid things with my time. And,
Right.
um, I realized that, I have things on the line. It's not like I don't have anything on the line. Like, I actually do
Right.
have things on the line, and, I have a career. I have people who actually do listen to me, and, I have a potential to do things. So, for me getting my mental health right, I've been struggling for the longest. This is what I put in my music and my lyrics, as I write. So if you listen to the songs, you can see what I'm kind of talking about.
Yeah,
Um, even with just relationship stuff and all types of stuff. It's been a roller coaster for me too. So
man.
I know that story very well. I know what it's like.
No, thanks for sharing that, man. Because I feel like, you know, it's hard. It's hard to be an artist, because it's easy to fall into all the distractions in life, the hardships in life that we all come across, in whatever form it might be. And, it's trying to get back to yourself and trying to find your roots and really what you're wanting to do with your life. I feel like it's got to come from you in the end, unfortunately, because I feel like, especially, and as males, I feel like it's hard for us to like come up and admit, some of our pain or our struggles. But in the end, I feel like that's the thing that's gonna actually improve our communities. That's the thing that we can provide to the future at least.
Yeah. I actually had, conversation not too long ago with my girlfriend herself. I was like, there is one thing about Black people specifically, and that I could say that it's kind of funny that we struggle the most out of pretty much everyone. On the everybody struggles, but we have our own specific struggle,
Mhm.
and the fact that most of the world's comedians are Black, we're willing to laugh at the struggle. We're willing to poke fun at how many times this person across the street looked crazy, or we went through this, or we went through that, and we turn it into a joke.
Right.
And we make people laugh, or we turn that into music. I'm like, that just goes to show. I'm like, man, everybody needs to step up and do it. It has nothing to do with color. I'm like, I don't care if you Asian, everybody. If everybody has their own struggle, and so it's just like, are you willing to laugh at it? Are you willing to learn from it? Are you willing to crash out because of it? And
Yeah.
so I'm figuring out stuff myself. I mean, I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, I've done enough in my time. I've done enough of that street stuff, and I've done enough of all of the violence and the death and everything. My own problems and the crying and all of that. And I want to put this down on paper. I want to put this down with a pen and talk about this. Not shove it away, because I feel like that is what impacts the communities the most, is not talking about it, especially with men.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
absolutely. Absolutely. And
yeah.
that's, man, I mean, I think we're hitting on a lot of good points here. And, while we're kind of like hovering around the topic is, our view on mental health is always a question I like to ask our guests. And, you know, if you could define mental health in your own words, how, what would you say? How would you define mental health for yourself?
Finding out who you really are, um, figuring out your own mind and your own path, and willing to feel better when things aren't. And I feel like that's what mental health is being healthy in your mind, and not just in your mind, but your entire body, your heart, your soul, your feelings. And if those aren't intact, you got some mental health problems. Everybody does. So I'm like, I feel like it's a chance to get it together and heal, and really figure out who you are, what you want to do.
Yeah. I feel like
So that's
that's
my definition.
no, I love that definition, honestly, because I mean, even through my own experience through therapy, it's been one of those things where I I didn't like how triggered I could become over certain, honestly, like stupid topics. Like in the end, it's just like, why am I? becoming this person, destroying my own reality, just because
Yeah.
this person sees things differently or you know,
Yeah. I had
just
that same
values things
conversation today,
differently.
man.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
with me working out with my girl, man. You know, she had told me that, she feels like, certain times I could be this way or I could be that way. And I talked to my therapist about that today. I was like, you know what? You know, maybe we should try doing it this way. And I'm actually, when we get done, we're gonna talk about that.
Mhm.
Because, you can come off a certain way, with just how you feel, like if this person's doing this, okay, you don't have to get like mad at it. And that's what I was doing. And that's what I think that she was talking about with me. Like, like, okay, if she's on the phone watching a movie, I shouldn't be tripping, just because I don't watch movies personally, that she's watching a movie. But instead of me getting mad, like, we have times where, okay, you could do this for this long, and then, why don't we do this together instead of me just tripping about it? And that's what I think she was talking about. And I saw that today when, my therapist talked about that with me. So I'm still learning. I'm
Yeah.
still learning how to be a better me, So, I don't come across as, oh, I'm being mean or I'm tripping, oh,
Right.
you're just tripping about this. Oh, you're complaining about this. Okay, well, now I see why you're saying that. Okay, maybe I am doing this a little bit too much. It's taking a step back. And that's what I haven't been doing.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm starting to see even with today. Like when the therapist told me that, I was like, wow, well, I guess we've been doing this wrong the whole time, and no wonder why there's arguments, or no wonder why there's this riffraff here. Not like it's bad, but like it doesn't have to be like that.
Right.
And so it's realizing what you do as like, what are you really doing?
Yeah.
Like, why are you so upset at this? Is it really that serious?
And it's that want to be open about it too. Like, do I need to be able to accept my flaws. I need to be able to accept I'm maybe not doing it the right way, and
Or you're not hearing it the
or
right way. You're
hearing
not
it the right
hearing
way. Right.
it.
Right. And that's a hurdle for me too, bro. Like it's been a challenge for me to try to connect with my child's mom sometimes because she says things in a completely different tone and it might rub me the wrong way, but she might
That's
mean
what
it differently.
Right. And, I was like, okay, I can kind of see, because it is the tone too. Like, I know, like, that was one thing that, my girlfriend was talking about. It would be my tone.
Hmm.
It's not like I'm saying it mean, but it's like I'm saying it mean
Hmm.
because of I'm,
Oh, it's coming out.
how it's coming out. But I'm like, not
Yeah.
trying to be mean,
Right.
but I'm like, okay, maybe I have to speak softer about it, or just like not go so hard about the topic, even
Right.
if you're not mad. Like, it's certain things that, I'm still learning. I'm not a freaking guru, but like
That'd be
I'm
wild.
trying, man.
Yeah.
It's hard, man. Like, I know you trying, man, and especially
Yeah,
dealing with,
bro.
with females in general. They see things a little bit more extreme than men do. So, you got to realize that too. Like, even if they are tripping, you got to kind of see why they're tripping.
Right.
And
Right.
sometimes they can be right. And, like, okay, maybe I am seeing this the wrong way, or I didn't hear this right. And then it turned into a situation that got me in trouble or messed up this thing. And I've had that happen too many times. So I'm like, I got to get ahead of getting myself together.
Yeah.
Um, because, I've created things that didn't need to be there. So I think that's what it is, man. We just
Creating your
create
own
things.
barriers. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, I can see what, maybe she isn't tripping. I'm just like making shit up because I'm mad. You know what I mean? Or I'm like,
Something
man, it's
happened. Yeah.
so I'm like, man, stupid me. Here we go. I'm like, baby, I do got issues.
Yeah.
You got, yeah, nobody's.
Oh man. Yeah, I've been there, bro. I've been
We're
there.
all a mess. We're all one big mess, man.
Yeah.
Just
Oh
one big
man.
mess that needs to clean up, dude.
That's it.
Uh,
Oh man. Well, it's been great having this episode with you, Xavier. I just want to let you know, man. Thank you for opening up to us here. And you did kind of mention a little bit of some of your upcoming projects that you're working on. So everybody can, stay posted on our feed. We'll keep you guys in link here. And I guess if any of our following does want to, connect with you or follow you, what's the best way for them to get in touch?
Well, I'm on all social media platforms. Now, my name is spelled a little differently, so I'm gonna have to spell it out for you. Exavier Whitley, Xavier Whitley. You can connect with me at Xavier Whitley in lowercase, all in one letter, I mean, all in one word. On Instagram, Twitter, well, X as they call it now, Xavier Whitley, you know, um, also, you can follow my One Throne Productions pages on all platforms as well, except for TikTok, because I ain't doing no TikTok on there. But I do have a TikTok myself. Only releasing music. I'm not dancing. I don't. My knees are bad enough. Um, so yeah, you can reach me on Twitter or the X, Instagram, Facebook. I have a verified fan page on there. It's just my first name, Exavier, and it has a check mark. So I'm the only person with that spelling with a check mark. So you can find it there. And I do updates on LinkedIn. I do updates on any social media platform. So all you got to do is type me in. I'm there. There ain't
Awesome.
nowhere you can find me.
That's awesome. I appreciate you again. And to everybody that was tuning in here, thank you for listening to our episode. Our Zen Clouds is creative, comfort, never alone. Until next time, thank you.
All right, man. Till next time.